さんですか。
ベル、食べて。
は
舐めて、吸って舐めて、吸って。
先生、ありがとうございます。
ベル、治った。よかった。
Lick and swallow. Ooh, boy. Our boy Bell has got a thing. He's got an itching. He's got an itching, a burning scratch. You gotta scratch it off. He's got an itching for some monster meat. Like, our boy Bell has gotta quit. He has the most abundantly beautiful women around him with, and I'll even throw our little girl Lily up in there. Our little 2'9", our little 2'9" Lily in there. He's got Hestia, Haruhime. He's got Makoto, Aisha. Like, he got a whole, he got a whole gang of beautiful women out there. And our boy got a taste for the monster meat. Like, he just cannot quit when it comes to these monster girls. Like, he's like, oh, he sees a monster girl and he's just like, oh, I gotta have him. Like, our boy gotta quit with the monster addiction here. Like, enough's enough, Bell Cronell. You know, he going after a little rookie, you know what I mean? But okay, for real. This episode, not a whole lot really happened this episode. This episode just really set the stage for like a couple of things to come. We got to meet another Xenos, right? Which we knew, like, I mean, you could easily put two and two together, right? You have these hyper intelligent monsters, these like the Moss Huge, right? You have like these upper echelon monsters now that have appeared like Moss Huge. Then you have the Xenos, which are completely sentient. Like, they're intelligent, but they're intelligent to where, like, they have consciousness, they have self-identification. They're monsters. They're pretty much just like kind of like Beastman at this point. They're very like they're human like in their nature. So we knew last week when we got to see that Belle was able to find, or I guess a mermaid was able to find Belle, that she was going to be a Xenos. So it was very likely. This episode got to show us that, yeah, this mermaid, Marie, was in fact a Xenos, and she has familiarity with the other Xenos, the other people in the Xenos, or I guess the monsters in the Xenos party. So she has familiarity there. She took a quick liking to Belle, right? Like, she healed him through a little licking, a little swallowing. She shoved her blood up in all in around Belle's mouth. Very lewd scene, and she was able to completely heal him, so that was completely cool. We got to learn that she is able to charm monsters and humans alike, so she has a charming ability, much like mermaids. You know, the old folklore is that mermaids would charm pirates, and that's how they would destroy them, you know, from the inside out kind of thing. So she does have the ability, and she also has an ability to use like kind of like sonar through her voice to kind of detect and find monsters and things of that nature. So she is now leading Belle to the Moss Huge as well as his party and the other people. They encountered a huge monster, a huge lake monster, you know, like Loch Ness monster type thing that was chasing them. So now they're running away. Mari in tow with Belle as he's kind of running and carrying her away. He's about to take the monster to another party. We're about to have a weenie number 2 over here. You know, even his party, you know, if they see him carrying a monster, they just gotta be like, yo, I don't even know what to do with you anymore, Belle. So, couple of things that I wanted to note about this episode. Excuse me. I have some problems. And maybe it's not even a problem, but I have a bone to pick with some of the comedic relief this episode. The comedic relief is centered around Belle and his inability to be mature around some big old biddies. And both of the times that they made light of this situation, both of the times that they made this situation apparent, the comedy didn't hit for me. I found myself more or less frustrated that, like, yo, how many times does our boy gotta see a pair of big old titties for him to just, be like, hey, this is a monster, and the way that the monsters don't feel embarrassed as, a human would. Hell, there's some females who don't feel embarrassed at all. And I'm not talking about like in our world, like I'm talking about in this world that he's living in this dystopian fantasy monster adventuring world. There's some, ladies out there who do, they don't get embarrassed at all. We've seen the OVAs and the bath scenes and stuff. We've seen the Amazonians, right? We've seen the red light district or whatever it's called. Like, there's some that don't get that way at all. And Bell has been exposed to his fair share of lady bits. How many does he got to see before he just stops reacting in this way, to this Little Mermaid's little bitties? You know what I mean? Like, it might have hit for you. It didn't hit for me. I was like as stone-faced, like just like as possible. I was like, like we're still doing this? Like, I don't know. It just kind of bothered me. And then she went and she put on like some like mermaid shell bra or something like that. And I was like, okay, I guess. Like, that diminished the episode for me. I would have loved more if maybe he, like, got a little red, looked, and then just kind of, like, let it go kind of thing, as opposed to what we got. I don't know. It just kind of bothered me, and I kind of really had to mention it. Outside of that, though, I did want to talk about it real fast. The OP is killer. This is the first episode where I really listened to the OP, and I was like, okay, it gave us an insight into the Mari and the mermaid being more part of this story. And I kind of scoffed again. I was like, oh, no. Again, weenie number 2. I was like, here we go. Another weenie story. Like, I'm done with the monster stuff. I just want to see Belle adventuring, hitting level 5, level 5s to come, getting more into the dungeon, focusing more on his party, on Haruhime, on Mikoto, on Lily, on Aisha, working more as a party, with everybody in there, right? Like, becoming more, like, hopefully we get more of that and not more monster crap. Like, I'm kind of done with the Zeno stuff. I get it's part of the story, but I'm just kind of like, I'm done with it. Like, I want to see him take on this Moss Huge and take on these, like, upgraded monsters. Like, I want to see him be challenged and stuff, but I'm just done with, like, the monsters being, like, part of this. Like, I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm just going to kind of put the energy out there. I just don't like it. So, episode overall, I give this one a 6 out of 10. It wasn't really that exciting. It was very okay. I loved seeing all the magic swords. I like seeing the monster stuff, like, the monster attacks. I like seeing the Moss Huge organize monsters. I like seeing him organize a monster parade, as Aisha called it, basically like a big old monster raid, kind of like as they pass. I like seeing all of that. I like seeing, like, this creature kind of really, like, organize and trap and really be out there like a real enemy. I love seeing that. I don't like seeing all the Zeno's BS and Belle, all that stuff. I didn't like it. So I'm putting the energy out there. 6 out of 10 episode. All right, let me know what you guys thought. See you guys next week. Peace.